I'm Jamie Kudla, General Manager of TerryTech, a Compass MSP company. Thank you for joining me for my podcast, Better, Faster, Stronger, where we help move New York Metro businesses forward with tips on motivation, leadership, management, and innovation. Joining us this week is Marsha Gordon. Marsha is the President and CEO of the Business Council of Westchester. Thanks for joining us, Marsha. How are you?
I'm delighted to be here today, Jamie. Congratulations on all the exciting things happening with your company.
Yeah, thank you. Prior to starting our podcast, I was just catching up with you a little bit and sharing the great news that TerryTech was acquired by a company called Compass MSP. So great in terms of strategy for TerryTech and for all of our clients, as well as my team. And we're really excited about it. 40 days into it, things are going really well, and we're doing great things together.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you. And how's your summer going?
It's going well. It's going well. Looking forward to getting to the beach a little bit. The end of this week.
Fantastic. Yeah, hopefully things slow down. I don't know. Certainly you've been to this community for a long time. And, I bet based on your experience too, things tend to slow down a little bit towards the end of August. I think everybody
so.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. Everyone's getting that last hurrah.
This year especially, we're all ready. It's not only a regular slowdown, but certainly a needed post-pandemic, post first wave of pandemic breather. But, we all have to still be careful.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. So again, thank you for joining us. And a good place to start, I think, is if you could maybe tell us a little bit about yourself, some about your professional career and how you ended up as the president and CEO of the Business Council of Westchester, and just give us a little bit of that history.
Sure, I'll make it as short as possible because it's a long history, and I've been here for 20 years now. So I celebrated my 20th anniversary this year, which is very hard to believe. But I basically grew up in New York City, in Brooklyn, Queens, and then moved to the Hudson Valley when I was quite young, and into the Dutchess County area, and really went for an MBA at Marist College, and started my career in not-for-profit management. First as an arts administration, then got into academia for a while at Marist. And then, frankly, got into working for business organizations. First in Orange County as a membership director, which is why that's always near and dear to my heart. And then I ran the Greater Southern Dutchess Chamber of Commerce, which was a very sophisticated regional chamber of commerce in Dutchess County for 9 years. And then, frankly, I was ready. This New York City girl was ready to get closer to the city. It was a good time of life to do it. And actually ran a transportation management organization for a few years, which served the Hudson Valley and Fairfield County. And when this position opened up, I said I always wanted to be in Westchester, which was the truth. I said to someone, I want that job, and I went for it, and I got it. And frankly, at the beginning, it was difficult because the organization certainly was not what it is today. But really working with great people throughout all the years who have been dedicated to the Westchester business community, to the Business Council of Westchester, to making things happen. We've really grown the organization to what it is today. And so I've had a fabulous career. I intend to have it a long time more. And, and it's been a very exciting time.
20 years, it sounds like you're just getting started, so you must get for the next 20.
Thank you.
Can you talk about that a little bit, where the Business Council of Westchester started and what you've done? I mean, 20 years is a long time, and it's a pretty sophisticated organization. I know it brings a lot of value to the Westchester and beyond business community. If you could talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, and I think it fits into the theme of your show, because it's about leadership, and I'm not really talking about my own leadership. I'm talking about the leadership of our board, the team members that have been with me, because we really look, and it's been the history of our organization, to look at where are we now and what comes next. Always looking forward. Where should we be focusing? What should we be doing? So honestly, when I first started 20 years ago, it was to keep the organization alive, and it was to do a lot of different events and to throw things and to bring people together. And it's what I knew and what I did and what we did. But over the years, we've enhanced that opportunity by having professional people on, by focusing on retention, by focusing on membership growth. Linda Tyler is our Director of Membership now. She's second to none by really being focused on the needs of our members. But we've also added people to be experts in legislation, like John Ravitz, and community building, and data, with our partnership with Pattern for Progress, and bringing our events to a different level and bringing our marketing to a different level. And so that's really been kind of the results of a board of directors that sets what they want done, and hopefully myself that's out there and is pushing along with John Ravitz and the rest of the team. And that's really what it's about. And honestly, I think there's no time that served us as well as in the current year, because we were able during the pandemic to be the business or the organization, I think, in Westchester and even the Hudson Valley that met the needs of the business community and kept the business community moving forward.
Yeah, and I would agree with what you're saying there, because there was so much information that needed to be shared, and there wasn't a lot of great ways to do that. So certainly organizations like yours was a place that people could meet and they could share ideas and information that they had and what's working and what's not working. And obviously there's so many professionals that had that great information, were experts in certain fields. So to give them a platform to share and work with the business community to help us all move forward, because look, we were all in it together.
Yeah, and talking about technology, we also had, frankly, two younger members of our staff who were able to lead us forward to turn very, very rapidly, and in a first mover position to working virtually and to reaching our members virtually. And we had Linda Tyler who said we have to do more for our members. We have to do more, so we increased those opportunities. Our members said to us, it was those 9 a.m. council meetings, it was those events that were going on, it was those educational opportunities, the opportunities for us to put on educational events, which was something that we added that really kept me, the member, from a business point of view and a personal point of view moving forward, because we were all shell-shocked, right? And so, if you had to be on a Zoom at 8:30 in the morning, you had to, be looking okay to do that, and be prepared and everything. So I'm really proud of the role that the BCW took during the pandemic, especially as the leading information resource and troubleshooter and advocate, and we continue to do that.
Yeah, and connector and support group. And I think you raise an interesting point when you say that from also personal standpoint too, because all of a sudden we were finding ourselves a little bit isolated. So it was a great way to connect. And even if it wasn't from a business standpoint, just knowing that other people are in the same boat and, kind of getting yourself out there and getting yourself ready for the day and, joining meetings where a lot of us obviously work in the office, and we found that was gone overnight. So there was some adjustment that had to happen there. It was so important from a mental health standpoint, to be able to connect with people like that.
Exactly. Yes. And I just want to put in a plug just in terms of moving forward, because we are now are about to announce, I'll announce it here first, that we're going to have a town hall meeting, I believe on August 19th, for the entire membership to join. And because the county is fortunately has gotten resources from the federal government and the Biden administration to move things forward. So there's money there, and we want input under John Ravitz's leadership in our Economic Recovery Task Force, which we pulled together very quickly again. We want input as to how best that money should be spent.
Wow, that's
so
great.
We encourage everybody to attend that.
That's exciting. So that meeting is going to be August 19th?
Yes.
Fantastic. Actually, you heard it here first.
Yes, we heard it here first. I'm better, faster, stronger.
Quick question for you in regards to membership. What did membership look like when you first started versus where it is today? I can't imagine that there's any comparison, and it's not necessarily.
it's hard to tell exactly where it was because, but it was probably about 300 and now we're at about 1,000. But it's not only the numbers of members, and I hate to use the word, it's the involvement. It's what people are doing. So it's not, it's not only that somebody joins, it's that people are joining and then getting engaged, getting involved, getting benefits from the membership. And frankly, we've grown our membership considerably during the pandemic. Like many other businesses, and our organization runs as a business, we looked at different financial scenarios, when the pandemic started. And the first one was, okay, not one more person is going to join the BCW during the pandemic.
Right.
How
Quite
wrong we were.
Yeah,
it was
sure.
the opposite. In fact, frankly, it's very interesting because being virtual enabled businesses that were outside of Westchester and want to do business in Westchester to participate. We had a member who was a member years ago, great small business, a graphic designer, was very involved with us, and he moved to New Jersey. He said, Marsha, now I can member again. I'm thrilled. So
And it gave them a platform to connect and reestablish themselves in the community.
Exactly.
People are looking for new ideas. And I think you do raise a good point too, in regards to it's not just the number of members and the size of the membership, but really what they're doing in the committees, in the involvement, and how they're really helping everybody move forward. So
absolutely. Yes.
Well, thank you. So in keeping with the format of our podcast, Better, Faster, Stronger, I sent you a little bit of prep information in regards to, I'm going to ask you 3 questions. What have you done that has helped you or your team or the organizations that you've worked with or for? How have you made them better, faster, or stronger? So the first question is, what have you done that has made them better?
So I think having a continual learning process, whether it's informal or formal, has been very, very important to the organization. We have Yvette Molina, for example, now engaged in a board training. We've had people go to conferences. I think that's very, very important. Raising people up, giving people new responsibilities, taking advantage of their strengths and understanding and talking to them at great length about what they want to accomplish for themselves and their careers has really made the organization stronger, and involving other people. We don't work in a vacuum. We're a very small staff, but when we bring in our wonderful members, our wonderful ambassadors, our board, our executive committee, and we are infused with ideas, opinions, thoughts, expertise, that makes us better. It really does. It makes every one of us better.
That has to be part of the mission of the Business Council of Westchester, documented or not, or, in your mission statement or not. I mean, it really is about that education. So like you said, whether it's internal and it's with your team, or it's a planned conference that you're going to, the continuing education, or, just member to member, providing that expertise. That's so important to always be developing that skill set. And I can say even
we do not operate in a vacuum. We are part of a much larger community. We create, I think a large part of this is also creating strategic alliances with others, involving others, and talking to colleagues, listening to members, and that's how we're a very, very open organization.
I've found that too in my organization, certainly organizations that I've worked with or for. The people that bring the most to the table, that are contributing the most, always tend to be the those that are always learning something new, whether it's a new book or it's a new technology or getting a new certification. They bring so much to the table, and keeping that fresh and always injecting new ideas through the process of this education is so important.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very important.
Something else that you mentioned too, in regards to speaking with your team and finding out what are their best skill sets and what do they want to do. We refer to that as the zone of excellence, because there might be 10 things that you're great at, or I should say 10 things that you're good at, but maybe there's 2 things that you are excellent at. And we find that when you find out, if you can create a role or a position that aligns with what the individual might want to do, and it also tends to be something, or it's also something that they're great at, we call that zone of excellence, they can move forward. There's so much more engagement, there's so much more enthusiasm, you get so much more accomplished in having them focus as much as you can. And that can be a bit idealistic too, because sometimes you can't just say, okay, you're not going to do these other 8 things, but these 2 things that they are great at, if you can really design a position around there, give them time to focus on those things, we get so much out of that, and it's great for everybody involved.
Absolutely.
So it's good to see that you're doing that in your organization as well. So moving on to the next question. So that's better. Now, what have you done that has helped you, your organizations, people that you've worked for or with, to help make them faster?
We don't need to be any faster. We are, honestly, we are the fastest organization I know. I think if anything, I think we need to slow down sometimes. I think that sometimes, and John is John Ravitz in particular, my organization, is a very good foil to me because, he's fast, but I'm like speedy. And sometimes he says, Marsha, let's stop. Let's think about this. Let's slow down a little before we jump in. So I honestly, I think we are super speedy on, and I don't only mean things like virtual, I mean, developing educational programs, developing alliances, working on economic development, doing big things. But sometimes the bigger things you do, it's good, it's good to take a breath and slow down and think about it. And that's hard for those of us who are type A personalities to learn to do.
Yeah, right, exactly. Because you can have, all these great ideas, and you certainly can't execute on all of them at once. And I think we're all guilty of doing that. If that's your personality, you try and move a bunch of things forward, and it's almost more difficult to do that. Pick 1 or 2 things that you really want to move forward, focus on those things, and you're going to have greater success.
Yeah, exactly.
In regards to, I mentioned that we were just acquired by Compass MSP, and I'm probably going to screw up the way that they say this, but they say slow is steady and steady is fast. Because, being part of a new company, there's so many things you want to do.
I have to remember that. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, slow is steady.
And one thing that somebody told me a long time ago, is to stick to, not that you can't do other things, but know what your core purpose is, and don't go too much, don't go too astray and do other things, so we've added so much, I mean, last year, I'm really proud of the efforts and the work that we did in the whole diversity, equity, and inclusion area very, very quickly after the tragedy with George Floyd. But we really decided to stay in the lane of what can businesses do. And so we did a series of 8 webinars immediately. Talk about fast. By June,
wow,
we had unveiled these 8 webinars, and they were attended. And then we got partners from all over New York State, the Hudson Valley of New York State. We had 3,000 people attending these webinars virtually. It was incredible. And then we had a huge diversity conference with high-level speakers from people from healthcare, people from education, people from large business, people from small business, and we brought them all together, and people from government and not-for-profit, and we were just so proud of the work that we did in this area. So that was thoughtful, and it was fast, and I think it was a good, and also we stayed in our lane.
Yeah, and that's why it's so important, even if it's not documented, but to have a core purpose and to really understand what your mission is and what you're trying to do. That's your true north. Because I'm certain that you come in and you have a to-do list that has 100 things on it, and it certainly happens to, as business owners and leaders, where it's you come in that morning and you say, okay, what do I need to work on today? And when I find myself in that position, I go back to the core value and what are we really here to do? What is going to help us move forward the fastest? And I understand that maybe that is doing it a little bit slower, but what's going to help us move forward the fastest? And you can frame that with your core purpose and your mission to help determine what you're going to do that day. So very important. So if you could just give me an example, when you say that you really operate fast and you are accomplishing all of these things, what are some things that you do to move forward faster? Is it through your communication? Do you have regular meeting rhythms? You know, how do you decide on what you're going to do and how do you execute so quickly?
So look, we have a small and mighty team. So we kind of know each other's language. You know, we work now at this point. We've worked together a while, and at the beginning you know, I'm talking about the pandemic because at the beginning we kind of had to figure out how to get information, how to make sure we got it out correctly, so on and so forth. But we were all on it, you know, and we're very responsive. We're very proactive. We like to listen to new ideas, and we have a team that has the skills and has developed the skills. And frankly, different people learn different things, you know,
Sure.
virtually also in technology, to just get it done. We're also able, because, you know, especially John and myself, you know, to bring in others. You know, we've invested a lot. This doesn't just happen. You know, we've invested a lot of time and a lot of effort over the years in creating partnerships with other organizations, with Linda's work, and knowing what each member's capabilities are and what their strong points are, and being able to bring those people in. You know, and we run a business too. So, you know, so we need to raise revenue, you know,
Yeah.
we need to have new things. And we want to be responsive to the needs of the community, the needs of our members. And we've been able to do that, whether it's legislative issues where, you know, the top developers came to us and asked us to focus on, you know, on legislative issues in Albany, which they felt would hinder economic development, to, you know, to serving on the Governor's Regional Economic Development Council, where, you know, where you know, I have to quickly assess which projects should be funded or not, to, you know, to being involved with our cities and some of the work that they're doing. So we're very, we've developed a culture here of being responsive and of not taking too much time. And we also, frankly, have a board of directors, you know, who are really the leaders of the organizations, who encourage that culture and respect that culture, and respect the work that we do, and want us to be like that. And we're very fortunate in the group, in the really great group of people that we have around us.
So
that develops over time.
Yeah, sure. So some of the things that you mentioned there, and you mentioned a lot of items, but you know, work with great people, work with great partners, and certainly this doesn't happen by accident. And there's, you know, whether it's a conscious effort or not, I mean, this is the way that you've operated and continue to operate. You know, work with great people and partners. It's a continuing training and continuing education. It's putting people into that zone of excellence. You know, you mentioned that the people that are excellent at these things, they gravitate to getting those things done. So a lot of these things we've mentioned, it's nice to see how all of these things come together. And when you're doing those things, you just move organically, you're moving forward faster. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Moving on to our last question, what have you done that has made your organizations stronger?
Well, I think all of this makes us stronger, but I think especially, you know, being laser focused on our mission, which is economic opportunity for everyone in Westchester, being focused on the two sides of that, which is profitability for our members and prosperity for the community, and making sure that everything that we do aligns with those basic tenets and basic umbrella of what the organization wants to accomplish. And then sometimes saying, you know, we're not the best ones to be doing this, maybe someone else should be doing it. That's very powerful. It's something that I've learned over the years, frankly.
When to say no.
And when to say no, right?
Yeah.
When to say no. When to say, you know, this is something that, we're going to feel good about because we got this started, but so-and-so is better off doing it. That's big. Being out there, being out there has made us stronger. Being out in the community, meeting with people, seeing seeing businesses, being at events and meetings, and then we are frankly experts at doing it ourselves and encouraging others to be out there with us. So I think that's really made us a very, very strong organization. We also, frankly, are strong financially, and that's grown over the years, and that's been, by good financial stewardship. We have excellent governance of our organization, and we do things the right way, in the ethical way.
You make it look so easy.
Have
You make it look so easy. You mentioned, I'm trying to take notes, and I'm going to have to go back and review this again because I'm really getting some pearls of wisdom here. But clearly, you're an expert at this stuff, and you've been doing it for so long and so successfully. You mentioned, 4 or 5 great things there, and I think it really does all speak to, making your organization stronger. Just to pick one of them, it's important to be strong financially. It allows you some more options. It allows you some more resources when you need them. Allows you to leverage some resources that you wouldn't have if you weren't strong financially. Going back to that mission statement, everything that you do needs to be aligned with that. And what did you say? Economic opportunity for everyone. I mean, if that's your true north and you're getting everyone aligned with that, and everyone in your organization is rowing in that direction because you've set it up that way, absolutely. And I've seen that in organizations that I've worked for and with. When everyone is aligned and they're going in the same direction, it's amazing what you can accomplish. And if we can call that stronger, clearly you guys are doing it at the Business Council of Westchester. Also, you mentioned getting out there. How important is that? Everyone's busy. It's very important to be in your office and respond to emails and make the phone calls or whatever, but you can't replace that with getting out there. And I know that the world is a little bit different, pandemic wise, in regards to, you're doing webinars and seminars and that kind of thing. And that's important, and it is what it is today. But the point being that you're getting out there and you're speaking with people and you're finding out what's important to them in their business, in the community, and how can we work together to solve those problems, or what information can I share with you to help you move forward?
Right. That's exactly it. You got it.
But look, you make it look so easy, and having done it so successfully.
It's not easy, but it's you know what? It's energizing.
I don't mean to say that it's an easy role, but you make it look easy. You've done so much.
Thank you.
Council of Westchester. Such a great, powerful organization, and we're certainly very proud to be part of that, and as well as the rest of the Westchester business community. You guys do a lot of great things.
Thank you so much, Amy. Thank you.
One last question that I like to ask is, if you could go back to yourself 20 years ago, knowing what you know now, maybe we'll say go back to the beginning of your tenure at the Business Council of Westchester, what would you have told yourself, knowing what you know?
Oh boy, yeah.
I'm gonna put you on spot with that one.
Question. I wish I had the confidence back then that I do now. I think that's something that grows. I wish I wasn't as fast as I was, in a sense, like as impatient, because I think some things just naturally take time to happen.
Yeah.
So that would certainly be a wish. Looking back, I wish I had a glass to look forward and say, we're going to get there. I'm going to personally get there. We're going to get there. But I wasn't as confident in that, and I had, some trepidations, about, the capability of myself to lead the organization. But I think that's okay, because I think that fuels your confidence, and fuels, for someone like me, it fuels my motivation to keep going and to improve and to get stronger and to be more strategic. To be more strategic and to grow my leadership skills and to be seen as a leader.
You took the words out of my mouth. I mean, I think you're saying something. You're saying, that you want to do all of these things, and you had a little trepidation. Am I the right person, or am I going to be able to lead this organization forward and do all of these things? But I think that's, I call that productive paranoia a little bit, maybe. And I think that that's a good thing. So I guess in one way you could say, you know what, be confident, be certain that you can do all of those things. But I think that's almost a hallmark of a great leader, to be a little unsure, and to be, because I think it's pushing you out of your comfort zone. It's moving the organization forward. And if you did everything slowly and real comfortably and at a pace that, you weren't really pushing yourself, you wouldn't have accomplished the great things. So I think it's a bit of a double-edged sword. So you can go back at maybe 20 years and say, Marsha, this is how you should be, and maybe slow down, just have a little bit more confidence. But, I don't know is that it's necessarily a great thing to get rid of that attitude. So.
Yeah. I agree.
So yeah, hallmark of a great leader. So excellent.
Thank you.
Well, listen, thank you so much for joining me on my podcast, Better, Faster, Stronger. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your summer, and I look forward to seeing you on August. What was it? August one more time? August 15th.
August 19th.
19th.
Great. Thank you. Best of luck with Terry Tech and with Compass and everything your company does. And thank you for your contributions and for this podcast so that others can learn. And thank you for including me. It was really an honor. Very much appreciated.
Our pleasure. Thanks. Have a great day.